This psychologist had a death wish. Despite being worth over $100 million, he was tormented by his inner demons. The police dispatched helicopters and even their best negotiators. But after 4 hours of talking, they still couldn't change his mind. A crowd had gathered below, all wanting to witness the tragedy. But then a homeless man made a bold claim. He said he could get the man to walk down safely in just a few minutes. The man on the ledge had closed his eyes, ready to calmly accept the arrival of the Grim Reaper. The homeless man had quietly climbed over the balcony and sat down beside him. This guy's audacious move startled the man, causing him to step back. He warned the other person that if he came any closer, he would jump without hesitation. But the homeless man turned the tables, saying that the man was interrupting his lunch. He then casually handed over his food, asking if the man wanted a bite. The police who had rushed over were puzzled by the appearance of another person. However, the homeless man confidently volunteered, saying he could talk the man down. The negotiators scoffed, not taking him seriously at all. But the next second, the homeless man was actually encouraging the man to jump. The man knew this was a bluff and remained unmoved. He just took one last look at the world. The homeless man then started telling him that every 40 seconds, someone in the world dies by suicide, so adding one more wouldn't make a difference. The man still showed no reaction. Just as he stretched out his hands, ready to jump, the homeless man suddenly shouted at him, calling him a criminal. The man paused and couldn't help asking the homeless man why he was being called a criminal. The homeless man told him that everyone who commits suicide is actually a criminal. They first kill themselves, and then they kill their family and children. Every person living in this world who deeply loves them. The man was stung by these words that cut to the bone. He took a crumpled photo out of his pocket, probably of the last person he cared about. Seeing this, the homeless man immediately seized the opportunity. He asked the man to search his conscience. In which book was it ever written that death could end everything? He continued to question, how could a person trapped in the prison of their own emotions be oblivious to the even more intense grief of their family? What loss was he unable to bear? Unexpectedly, this instantly ignited the man's emotions. However, there was indeed no one who had lost more than a homeless person. The homeless man respected the man's pain and admired his courage. But to be willing to smash into pieces in exchange for peace in front of a grave, wasn't this also a manifestation of selfishness? The homeless man's ceaseless words gradually calmed the man's emotions. He suddenly realized how terrifying the height of the 21st floor was. The homeless man deftly captured this sliver of fear. It was the desire to live. He shifted his body, slowly approaching the man. The people below saw this and became very tense. But the homeless man showed not a shred of timidity. At this moment, he suddenly asked the man what he wanted most. The man said it was death. The homeless man told him that what he most wanted to kill was his own pain. The homeless man finished speaking and prepared to leave. The man once again assumed the posture to jump. Fortunately, in the end, a thread of survival instinct overcame the struggle with pain. Coming to his senses, the man couldn't help but become curious, eager to know who this guy actually was. The homeless man spread his arms, facing the towering commercial center. He claimed to be a dream seller who specialized in selling things that money couldn't buy. He sold courage to people who were stuck in life. He sold confidence to those who were pacing uncertainly. The man retorted, asking what he sold to people who wanted to commit suicide. The homeless man said he sold them a comma. No one could believe that a homeless man had successfully persuaded the top psychologist in the country. But in fact, Mello had once been the third richest billionaire on the Forbes list, owning over 200 companies spanning aviation, banking, and many other fields. No one knew why he had become a homeless man, although Yuri had given up the idea of suicide. The root of the problem had not been resolved. He followed Mello wandering around, hoping that one day he could find a way to save himself. Mello took him to a gathering place for the homeless. There was no shelter from the wind and rain here, just debris everywhere. They could only drink untreated river water, but no one's face showed any sorrow. Instead, they would laugh heartily from time to time. Yuri found it a bit hard to understand. However, that night he had a rare good sleep. But soon the news of the psychologist's near suicide was published in the newspapers. Yuri instantly realized that his professional career was over. Perhaps he would become the next homeless man because of this incident.